Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Wake Up with Bunny. I am so glad you're here. Got my coffee. I've got my water. I have the internet open. I have things cooperating more than they were cooperating yesterday. This is a winning day already, and I'm pretty excited about it. It's the little things in life, guys. It's just, that's just how it works. Let's see what is going on the internet. I think this is going to be a hopping happening morning. It's Tuesday morning. People are done with their Monday, and it's time to get serious. Time to get serious about Twitter X. And as always, I got Worth Playboy front and center. I wonder why that is. Let's see. This is actually pretty good. Okay. Fort Worth is really good about reminding people, not reminding men, what not to do with texting. So don't double text, don't triple text, don't use emojis, don't, no good morning, no good night text. Less is always more. This applies across the board in so many areas of dating and attraction that it just applies more in text, because when you're texting and you're double texting, triple texting, maybe she didn't get it. I know, maybe she was busy and she didn't see this. I better text again. Maybe I didn't make my point clear. I need to circle back. That is all incredibly weak behavior when it comes to attraction. So don't do it. Just resist. Now he also talks about like not using punctuation, not really worrying about grammatical errors or spelling errors. All of these things are more like on the front end of attraction, just to make sure that you have that kind of aloof indifference, outcome indifference, that you really aren't like owned into any of her responses. So it just kind of sets you up in a position to clearly not be concerned with her thoughts on what you're saying. So this is a good thing on the front end. Now, if you're doing it playfully, if you're like, I like to tell the story that Fort Worth loves to send one letter at a time. So, that's a quad text often, because it's usually at least a 4-letter word. But it's hilarious, and that hearing the ding, 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 it gets your attention, and it's funny. So there are ways to play with this to kind of get girls' attention without kind of breaking any of the Jumbotron rules of texting with new girls in attraction. This is going to be 90% of women. This is going to be pretty good. 90% of women who end up childless didn't do that on purpose. Exactly. But they wound up fumbling good, or at least suitable, men because they were shopping outside of their price range. 1,000% correct. 1,000% correct. Yeah, and Jake Shields here makes a good addition, because girls can fuck outside of their their price range, so to speak. Girls can fuck outside of their price range all day, every day, without even a whole lot of effort. But as far as settling down, as far as having a child, as far as marriage, real dating, any of that, that's more like, that's where the being able to fuck outside of our price range goes to our head. That's where the internet attention goes to our head. That's why we have to be so careful not to overinvest in 4s that think themselves 9s, because that's shopping outside of their price range, and it does not bode well for their future. So yeah, exactly what Ryan is saying here. Most women who end up childless did not choose that path. with that in mind. They thought that they could always get something better. And so therefore they kept shopping around when really they needed to settle down, for lack of a better way to put it, you know, live with what they've got, and realize the realities of who they're with and what their true value is. So good morning. Good morning. I love when you guys jump on, and I love when you guys tell us good morning. I love that. How do we fix the dating crisis? Man, that is a loaded question. I could do an entire show on that. But as far as what we're talking about right now, I would say, oh yeah. Women's hypergamy works against them. How do we fix the dating crisis, though? The dating crisis, as far as this tweet that we're looking good morning, nerds. Good morning, Baron. As far as good morning. You guys are making my day. All right. We're fixing a dating crisis here, please, gentlemen. As far as the online, you know, the girls holding out for something better, always searching, shopping outside their price range. It's something that you have to be so cognizant of in your attention. This is where this is where, you know, using these alpha characteristics, even if you feel like a poser at the time, goes a long way. It really helps. Now, I think every single person in the chat right now has already accomplished this. You've already gotten past this. But like me, you get frustrated with the female psychology of it all, because you see it in real time. You see it out in the real world. These girls, like Ryan's talking about, that end up childless, but they're not one of those who necessarily never wanted kids, that are complete outliers. I mean, they exist. You meet them, but they genuinely don't want kids. They genuinely don't care about marriage. That is like, I'm going to say like 5% of women, maybe. It's low. And because of that, they believe themselves unicorns, but that's a whole different story. But most of the time when women end up without children, it's very much not because they didn't want them. It's not because they didn't want the storybook romance. They didn't want the family. They didn't want the children. It's because they could not stop themselves from shopping around, from always thinking, this guy's great. He's amazing. He's perfect for me. He puts up with my shit. He balances me. He provides for me. He'd be a great father. I wonder what Tyrone's doing right now. Like, literally, it's that girls cannot get out of their own way. And if that great guy were a better leader, he would have controlled this scenario a little bit. So I think that this is where men stepping up. And if you see, I think I did a tweet on this just last night. Hold on. Just last night, I was like, this may be an exercise in frustration. The bottom line, okay, so what I'm looking for is where I had talked about that if a man is leading, if a man is really leading, okay, I give up. I'm not worried about that one. If a man is really leading, he guides and directs her out of her own way. He is the one who makes sure that she doesn't fuck their life up. And that sounds like a lot of trouble. It sounds like a lot of a lot of effort on your part. But the great thing is, if you put in the effort on the front end, it tends to work its way out and kind of go on autopilot in a good way later down the road. So you put in the effort on the front end. As with anything, you're learning a new skill, you're learning a new career, you're going back to school for a new job, you want to learn a new hobby. Any of these things you have to learn how to do, and you have to start applying and making it part of yourself all the time. And with that, you lead her, you direct her. She understands that if you fuck up, if she fucks up, these are the consequences, for lack of a better way to put it. And then she stays in line. She stays in line, and it takes very little course correction. Like with children, if you start to use your parenting, not soft parenting, but parenting, real parenting and guidance on the front end, oftentimes they will continue on that path. Where if you let them go willy-nilly and just like be haywire and be annoying and then try to course correct, it doesn't really work out. It often bites you in the ass. Okay. What book would you and Playboy recommend to learn game so that I can compete with those alphas? Okay. First of all, Playboy has two really good books. He's got, well, 3 really good books, but 2 in particular that I would recommend first and foremost. These are in the description box below. I will also give you some names of books that we did not write. But as far as game goes, you cannot beat Fort Worth's Best of Chateau 1 and 2. Period. Best of Chateau HEARTISTE. He did a collection of the best articles written on game and attraction and female psychology and pickup, and and having these alpha characteristics. It's really, really strong. So check that out. Next, I recommend, especially since, I think it's just fitting that this is a Ryan. I don't have the book here. I think it's downstairs. But if you will pick up, it's a classic, Ryan Stone's Fuck Files, FUCCFILES. It is on the ground field notes from his dating life. And it always, every chapter has a lesson. It truly is like, here's what happened. Here's what the story was with this girl. And here's kind of the lesson from it. He does it in a much, much more entertaining way than what I'm describing. But it's a really solid book that I truly do recommend. I thought it was awesome. And I suggest you pick that up outside of Fort Worth and I. As far as other game for right now, there are some classics. There's The Game. I would say even No More Mr. Nice Guy would be a really good one to pick up. I don't have that one here either. I have all of these books on Playboy's desk and not where I am right now. But No More Mr. Nice Guy would be a really great one to pick. Yeah, Praxology. I think that's a good one also. It's the praxeology. Anyway, Ryan Stone's latest book is a fucking piece of art. But my point in saying Fuck Files instead of this one is that I think it gives more on the ground examples, like here's what it looks like in real time. So if you're learning, I think his Fuck Files may be a great place to start. But while you're at it, you might as well pick up his latest, this Praxeology. It's all about frame, and it's I can't say enough good things about this book. So those are 5, 6 books between Fort Worth, Ryan Stone, and a couple of other authors that I suggest you check out. Whoo, great questions, guys. I love it when we're like actively having conversation in the morning over coffee. While you guys are feeling chatty, feel free. I would love to know in the chat if there are any topics that you haven't heard me talk about that you would really like the girl brain take on. So let me answer this question. Any of the things that, topics that you feel like maybe I could go a deeper dive in, it may just be that I haven't thought to talk about it. So if there are questions or things that you're running up against in your own dating, attraction, relationship, sex life that you want my hot bunny take on, please let me know. And maybe I'll do a full-on bunny show live about it. Maybe we'll talk about it here. Depending on the topic, we'll cover it. But okay, found Ryan's books on Amazon. Are Playboys there too? They are, in theory, they are, but I suggest you go to fortworthplayboy.gumroad.com and look at his entire library there. And there is, I think that's the easiest way to find Fort Worth's books. I run my website and my different ways of selling stuff. I know he's got some things on Amazon, but I don't think everything. So the safest way is just to go to his Gumroad. It's the easiest. But thank you for asking, and thank you for finding Ryan's books on there. They're really good. You will not regret those purchases. Let's see. That's funny. Okay. Keep hot dogs $1.50. All right, Marty always has good stuff. Oh my. Okay, I'm gonna pass on that one. Oh, I see this picture and my shin hurts, like genuine. And now my bike pedals are like these awesome platform pedals that have like these metal knobs to hang on. And I don't always catch them, but every once in a while. Let's see. Let's see what you're saying this morning. Sometimes whenever I'm sitting down in a restaurant, a girl would enter smiling and laughing at her friend's table. Then when she saw me looking at her, her smile would disappear and be in awe. I need your help to decode. What does it mean? Is she scared of me? Is she curious? I think that one of the things that men do not realize about women is that most of what we do in the presence of men is just try not to feel like we look stupid. I mean, keep in mind that girls start thinking about boys literally in preschool. I mean, as soon as we have any kind of interactions with you, we start obsessing about you. We think about our wedding. We think about our Barbie, dream house. We think about the man that we're going to marry. We talk to our parents. We talk to your parents. We talk to your siblings. We chase you around the playground. We start working as females. We start working to get the attention of the boys that we like so many years before you guys ever notice us about anything but as just being a distraction. Okay. So we have this innate need. It's ingrained that we have to impress you and we have to look good and feel confident that we are beautiful to you, that we are attractive to you, that we aren't doing anything that would turn you off. Once we all discover sex, it's all about what can we do so that Johnny likes me? What can we do so that Billy notices me? What can we do so that Sam asks me to the dance? These are the critical things in our world. So what you're saying is, when a girl, and I've seen this happen, like I understand exactly what you're talking about. When a girl is having fun at a table with her friends, they're out, they're having a good time. This could be walking down the street. This could be, you know, in all kinds of like social events. She's having a good time. She's laughing. She's genuinely like having fun with her friends. And then she makes eye contact with you. And there's a clear instant attraction. It doesn't matter if there's not an attraction. So when you're trying to decode this, know that girls don't care if they are not attracted to you. So the fact that she is kind of stopping everything and just trying to think about what she looks like in that instance. She doesn't want to be, you know, laughing and making all these crazy faces and not really having control of her body and not sucking at her stomach and not popping her chest out and not pulling her shoulders back and not smiling nicely without completely scrunching her face up. Like all of this stuff that girls do with girlfriends when they don't think anyone's looking completely changes once there is a man involved who is watching. So the fact that just going to randomly click on things now. So the fact that when she sees you and she changes the face she's making, the way she's holding herself, that means that there's an attraction there. Now, that doesn't mean that there's enough attraction to necessarily immediately approach, but it sure couldn't hurt. Talk to all the girls you see. If you make eye contact with a girl and she's giving some indicators of interest, smile back, nod your head, do your guy thing, but know that that is a good sign. So that is the greatest way to decode that, is that if girls are suddenly very concerned about what they look like and how you're seeing them, they're fixing their hair, they're, you know, making sure that everything's put together, they're smiling nicely instead of like being the way that they are being with their girlfriends, this means that there is at least some semblance of attraction there. So I say go for it. It can't hurt. Especially if it's an event or something of that nature where you're out at dinner where you're only going to see her this one time, you might as well talk to her. What's the hurt? What's the worst thing that can happen? The worst thing that can happen is she could say, oh, I have a boyfriend. Oh, no, I can't. Oh, that's nice. And she kind of blows you off. But that's mainly because she's got friends around her that she'll be slut shamed around if she's too easy to get to know. So it doesn't mean the attraction's not there. And I do think that you should go ahead and approach. It only takes 3 seconds of bravery to cross that room, to cross over to her table, to cross across the room to talk to her and find out if she wants to do something, if she wants to hang out later, if she wants to meet for drinks. It's a win-win. And you're welcome. Please circle back and let us know how it goes. All right. Let's see what else we can find on the interweb. Woke up this morning and found my cats guarding my basement like this. That's pretty funny. That's pretty good. Man, I'm old enough to remember when this is what Pizza Hut looked like. And people, I mean, Pizza Hut was like packed. It was not like, very rarely, I think people actually like stopped by and picked up stuff to go. That is fun fact, Fort Worth was inadvertently in a Pizza Hut ad in our, at least regionally in the Dallas-Fort Worth area when he was young. And I try to find that original ad. Every Friday family deal, exactly. You know, and I try. Apparently he's wearing like red, white, and blue, and he's like 14 years old. And so I'm always doing like internet searches when this kind of stuff comes up to see if this day is the day that I'm going to be able to find young Fort Worth in his little Pizza Hut ad. It was just like a photograph that was used where he was kind of in the background, and it was before we used extras for things like that. It was genuinely just a pic that then they used in print ads. So I'm still looking for it. Raquel Welch. Beat the usual Monday doldrums by having a daydream about, yeah, no kidding. Look at that. Fantastic. She aged well. And I'll tell you why. Because she didn't do the fillers. She didn't do all of the preemptive stuff that completely fucks girls' faces up that they are so intent on doing these days. They can't even move their faces, and they're not even old enough to need it yet. It's only it's only $5. Why not buy it? This is a mentality that probably cost me like $10,000 at this point in my life. I think that that's where if you don't buy that latte every day on your way to work, you'll save $1 million. You'll become a millionaire. I think that that's where that comes in. Absolutely. Women are truly ruining themselves with all of this stuff in the name of beauty and in the name of aging gracefully. And really the truth is just what they put in their bodies matters so much more, whether they sleep, how much they drink. There's so many factors that go into a way a woman ages that has nothing to do with putting fillers and toxins into your face. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. I never played with the Ouija board, but I was at girl parties that like they would pull that stuff out and I would get freaked out. I'd be like, yeah, no, I'm gonna go over here instead. That's pretty funny. Oh, you guys know my ultimate celebrity crush right there. Look at her, Linda Carter. She is fantastic. Another one like Sophia Loren, or Raquel Welch, well, both of them, who aged so well because, well, first of all, they both have genetics on their side. Let's face it. You don't become Miss America like Linda Carter and not have some genetic, predispositions for fantasticness. But they also just genuinely took care of themselves. I think that all the ladies that I've just mentioned, I think they, for the most part, they stayed out of the party lifestyle. I think that that's something that you see a lot of now is girls will run themselves into the ground because they're insistent on keeping up with the boys. They're insistent on drinking as much as they can, keeping up with them in that way. It's ruining their femininity. And I did just do a post on this that would be the perfect way to close this morning because this is, yes, look at this. Oh, this made me crazy. We're going to watch this a couple of times. What the fucking bead. This is the downfall of femininity. And this is what, if you have daughters, encourage them not to behave in this way. If you have a girlfriend that you're dating that tends to drink and get completely crazy, discourage it, or let her know that that kind of behavior is just not in your wheelhouse. It's not attractive to you. It's not sexy to you. And you would, you know, it's hard to be in control of her and you if she's drinking, she's trying to keep up with the boys, she's trying to always impress the crowd. I mean, the way to stop that downfall of femininity is to quit encouraging and cheering it on. I mean, I watch that and I'm just like, holy fuck. What is she doing? Like, not only is she, you know, opening a can on her head, but then she's like sucking it down. Like, everything about this is her taking on every masculine trait she can. She's not dressed femininely. She's not dressed in a feminine fashion. She's not behaving in a feminine fashion. She's not drinking in a feminine way. Like, none of this is a good sign for her future. So I'd like to encourage you to not encourage this kind of behavior. And it's okay. It's okay not to like the taste of alcohol. There are lots of ways to balance 180. Balancer 182 is saying that he doesn't like the taste of alcohol. There are lots of people who don't like to drink, and that's okay too. A lot of times, you know, it could be that you genuinely just don't like the taste of it. And other times it's because you've had a bad experience. Maybe a parent was an alcoholic. Maybe you have seen the downfall too many times among your friends and your family members. There are lots of reasons why people just don't drink alcohol, and that's okay. There are workarounds to that too. And there are ways to find girls who also share that. So if you haven't already, please visit my Evergreen bundle. It is a collection of everything that's currently in my library, as far as every single book I have written on the subject of attraction, game, relationships, sex, girl brain, and every book that I will publish. So it will be automatically sent to you. It already far outweigh the price is already lower than if you bought each of these books individually. And it just gets less and less expensive the more books that I put out. So if you haven't already, I would really love it if you would go to myplayboysbunny.gumroad.com/evergreen, because my Evergreen bundle is an absolute killer. And then you never have to pay attention to another one of my posts about a new book launch, because you will be getting it automatically. So I would like you very much to check that out and purchase it if you haven't already. If you have already made several purchases from me, you have very likely gotten a discount code for this to help balance out, to kind of balance out that you've already spent, you know, half of as much of the price of money with me. And so that way you can have a discount code and just kind of top off your collection of my stuff. So thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope that you have a wonderful Tuesday, that you will go lift heavy things, go have some hot sex, and go accomplish something. Be productive, be masculine, be fun, have a good time, and I genuinely appreciate you tuning in with me today.